Hello students, I am Dr. Sanjita Das, working as Professor, Head of the Department Pharmacology at Noida Institute of Engineering and Technology, Greater Noida. So, as a continuous process, I told you about all the aspects of pharmacy practice, and today we are going to discuss about OTC medications. Okay? It is you all have come across taking the medicine from the pharmacy or chemist without prescription, right. That means, for some common discomfort or some common pain that is analgesic you have taken, antacids you have taken. So, all these are coming under the OTC medications. So, let us know how it is so much important and what is OTC medication. OTC drugs are those drugs which are safe and effective for use by the general public without a doctor's prescription. Got my point? OTC drugs are those which are safe, right, effective for use by the general public without a doctor's prescription. So, it is also called the prescription controlled drugs. And why it is OTC? Over the counter drugs, right. These are over the counter drugs. You can go to the pharmacist, you can go to the chemist, okay. You will ask over the counter and you will take that drug. Why? How you can that is it is how it is ethical and how it is coming under that chemist can give you the, that is chemist and pharmacist, they know all the rules and regulations. These are safe and effective, and you can take from the doctors that is without doctor's prescription. So, these drugs are the non-prescription drugs. You may say the OTC drugs are the non-prescription drugs or over the counter drugs. So, these have little significant pharmacological activity for, I told you from the very beginning that these are for minor discomfort. So, these are having significant, very little significant pharmacological activity. Therefore, the physician need not to be very much concerned about their use by the patient themselves. If the patient is using it themselves, it is not of much there is harm, right. But it is used primarily for symptomatic relief only, not for the confirmatory treatment. It is for symptomatic relief and not as substitutes for the prescription drugs. If once it is prescription drugs, these are not at all as substitutes for the prescription drugs. You have to follow, if it is, if prescription is with you, you have to follow that prescription drugs, right. So, getting my point? So, these are the agents which are safe and effective for the patient, and it can be taken without the doctor's prescription. So, next thing is, what is the significance of this OTC medication? One is, one thing, very important thing is that comparatively these are cheaper. You are going to the chemist and you are taking it, these are cheaper medicines, and chemist himself may prescribe the OTC. Once you will go to the physician, you have to give your details and you have to give your all discomfort things, and you will elaborate your disease condition and he will prescribe you. But in this case, you will go to the chemist, himself he will prescribe the OTC. Himself he can say that take this medicine, if you are having some flatulence in your stomach, so take this medicine, you will get rid of it. Because the pharmacist has knowledge about it and he knows that it is safe and effective and it does not require the physician prescription, but he will not give the medication which is away from these OTC agents, remember, right. So, the consumers are able to take that self diagnosis and self treatment. that means whatever the thing is there, you are suffering from suppose acidity, you can diagnose that it is acidity, it is burning pain, it is giving pain to my stomach, it is acidity, you can diagnose. So, it is the consumer has self diagnosis, and it can the self treatment can be done, okay, and self management can be done. That is, they have idea that I have to take the antacid before taking the breakfast in the morning, and I will get rid of the acidity, that discomfort, right. And another thing is that the OTC considered as the time saving medications, some patients do not want to spend much time at physician's clinic, right. As you say, some nowadays all are busy. Okay. If some minor discomfort will be there, they will prefer that from going from the office, if roadside pharmacy is there or any chemist is there, they will get down from the car and they will take the medicine for their, if it is acidity, then they will take some antacids. They will not prefer to go to the physician and to the hospital and to take the that is in the queue, they will sit in the queue and they will give some pain for that also, and to that is if it is minor, again repeatedly I am saying you, if it is minor discomfort, right. But if it is complicated, then all I will suggest for the physician first. Lesser number of side effects compared to the prescription medication, it is always there. It is having lesser number of side effects compared to the prescription medication, and you should remember that always all these OTC medications are under review always. If there will be any kind of adverse effect, it will be banned from the market, right. So, always these are having lesser adverse effects. Okay. So, it has been one analysis, I have given one analysis of this market analysis of OTC medications. Here the OTC drugs used by India are 55% of India are using OTC drugs, and prescription drugs, that is 45%. It may be that the person, the Indians, that means the citizens of India, they do not know that prescription medicines are essential, but it is in other hand, if you will think positively, they are lesser that is they are lesser that is ill to the prescription disorders. Okay. They can take the medicine from the OTC and they are getting well from these OTC medications. So, let us know what are the OTC medications, right? It is very much important. Analgesics, antibiotics, cough suppressants, anti-acne drugs, NSAIDs, that means non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, right? Antiseptics, decongestants, antacids, right? Antifungals, antihistaminics, smoke cessation drugs. I think now you got the idea that all these are you are taking, okay, or not all these are, some of the list you may have taken in your past time, isn't it, from the chemist, right. So, topical antibiotics, we are taking topical antibiotics, topical, I think you know what is topical, which has been which can be applied over the that means body, and topical antibiotics are over the skin at certain area, right. Topical antibiotics are medicines applied to the skin to kill bacteria, right. These are topical antibiotics. So, they are used to treat or prevent infections that occur on minor cuts, right, or scabs and burns due to presence of bacteria. There may be chances of infection. To prevent that infection, we are using topical antibiotics and we can take it from the chemist. Okay. So, the core main thing is that there is lesser adverse effect, there is no chance of adverse effect due to topical antibiotics, right. And next thing is that cough suppressants, these cough suppressants are medicines that prevent or stop coughing, right. So, I think you all know this what is cough suppressants. Still I am saying you that cough suppressants are medicines that prevent or stop coughing, right. So, a cough suppressant is used for treating dry cough and it helps to suppress the body's urge to cough. So, it can be taken as that is OTC medicine. Anti-acne drugs are the medicines that are used in the treatment of various acne problems like pimples, whiteheads, blackheads and other serious forms of acne. So, it is mainly topical and you may say it can be applied over the skin to get rid of that pimple or acne. So, it is having lesser adverse effect and it can be enlisted under the OTC medications. And these non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs, these are medicines that are used to treat inflammation, mild to moderate pain and also for the treatment of fever, isn't it. So, they are basically drugs with analgesic property or antipyretic property to reduce the increased body temperature, and with higher doses they have anti-inflammatory effect, right. So, you can say that it is for the discomfort or pain, right, and you can go to the chemist and you can take it from the chemist and it is coming under OTC medication. Then antiseptic medicines, these are in the form of lotions, creams, ointments, and these medicines that mainly these are slow down what is their main intention, what is their main purpose of use, to slow or stop the growth of germs, right, and help to prevent infections over any cut, scabs or any kind of burn. So, for that these antiseptic medicines are used and again these are given over the skin. So, it is also coming under the OTC medication. The next is analgesics. Analgesics, I think you all know the definition of analgesics and what are analgesics, you have idea. So, how these are under OTC medicines? These analgesics are medicines that relieve pain, right. Again it is for any kind of discomfort or pain and we can take it from the chemist directly, right. And decongestants, these decongestants are the drug or medicines to relieve nasal congestion. And during common cold you have also experienced this that is congestion of nose, for which doctors prescribe decongestant, and sometimes that Vicks inhaler, this is decongestant. Will you go to the physician to take that Vicks inhaler? No, you will go to the chemist and directly ask for give me one Vicks inhaler and I will that is you will use that Vicks inhaler for as a decongestant or okay. So, which is common term and it is for a stuffy nose, for the relief of stuffy nose you have to use that. And antacids, the name mentions, that is to relieve the acidity and it mainly neutralizes the stomach acidity, right. And antihistaminics, these are the medicines that relieve or prevent the symptoms of allergics like hay fever, eyes, sneezing, running nose and other kinds of allergy, right. So, these are antihistaminics and mainly these are for allergy, and some antihistaminics I think you have idea, that is those are also used for acidity, right. And antifungal agents which are used for the prevention and treatment of fungal infections. Suppose on your hand or in your food there is some fungal infection, then you will go to the chemist and you can ask the antifungal powder or ointment for that purpose, right, for the treatment of that fungal infection. Then smoking cessation drugs, the smoking cessation drugs are the medicines that are used to help people stop smoking cigarette or using other forms of tobacco. So, I think I should say you that these are coming at advertisement also, is not it? So, the public can know what are the medications, NSAIDs or the analgesics like Move, and like the any other like other medicines. So, they can go and they can ask for those Dettol antiseptics, they can go to the pharmacist and they can ask, they can go to the chemist, they can ask that give me this Move or give me this Iodex, right. So, next thing is that rational use of these OTC medications. Let us know what is its rational use. Pain relief medicines are regulated by the Food and Drug Administration. These relieve the minor aches and pains associated with the conditions such as headache, fever, cold, flu, arthritis, toothache, menstrual cramps, okay, for those. And these are basically two types of OTC pain reliefs. One is acetaminophen, okay, another one is non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs. And pain medications are safe and effective when used as directed. However, misuse of these products can be extremely harmful and even deadly. Remember this thing, right? And some consumers who take pain relief medications must follow their health care professionals' instructions carefully, if it should be taken or not taken. So, it is very much essential. So, do not change the dose of the whatever you are taking for pain relief medication without talking to your physician. If you know that he has given 500 mg that is paracetamol, you should not change the dose, right, without talking to him. So, also pain medications should never be shared with anyone else, okay, like ketorolac, it is for toothache, and you should not share with other persons. If it has been prescribed in your that is by the physician for you only, you should not share to all other persons. If it is like other something general one, you can, but it is not to be shared. And only your health care professional can decide if a prescription pain medication is safe for you or not, it may not be safe for others. And with acetaminophen, taking a higher dose than recommended will not provide more relief and can be dangerous. Relief, it will not provide more relief, it will not provide relief, rather it will be dangerous. Too much can lead to liver damage and death, and risk for liver damage may be, I think you know the nimesulide, it has been banned from the market due to the hepatotoxicity, and precautions must be there. Be cautious when giving acetaminophen to children, right. Infant drop medications can be significantly stronger than regular children medication, right, and read and follow the directions of the medication. And with NSAIDs, too much can cause stomach bleeding. I think you all know that acidity is one major adverse effect of this NSAIDs. There may be, if it will be taken in a much more dose, then there will be ulceration and stomach bleeding, right. And this risk increase in people who are over 60 years of age and are taking prescription blood thinner, okay, for those patients, and are taking steroids for those patients also, have a history of stomach bleeding, ulceration and have other bleeding problems for them also. And use NSAIDs can also cause kidney damage. It is also one harmful effect, and this risk may increase in people who are over 60 years. Then with opioids, another thing, use of opioids can lead to drowsiness, and do not drive after its use, and the dose of an opioid pain medication that is safe for you could be analyzed by the physician. Then look at the ingredient. For antitussive, for use of these cough syrups, you have to look into the ingredients and check the label, make sure you are getting what you need. Okay? Some are for dry cough, some are for antitussive and some are for cough syrup. So, you have to think that what is the requirement for your condition, right. So, do not use medicine for more than 7 days, it is also it will create the secondary complications. So, always measure the correct dose, right, and because even safe medicines in high doses can be very dangerous, and high doses of cough medicine can cause serious problems including brain damage, seizures may be there and death of the patient may be there. Okay. So, be careful for using these antitussives for our time, and be careful with the combination medicines. Many OTC cough medicines have multiple ingredients like expectorants and suppressants along with decongestants, antihistaminics and painkillers. As a pharmacist, you should have the habit to go through the ingredients label. In the label, I think you have noticed some ingredient list is there, you have to go through those, you should have to go through, right, and select products with only the medicines that treat your symptom only, right, and do not take 2 medicines that have the same ingredients. Okay. So, keep away from young children those antitussives because these are harmful for the young children, and always make sure to follow the dosing directions. So, then consider the doing nothing and read the label properly, give your body a week or and your cough will probably go away from by its own, it is not to be. Okay. So, reasons and so probably go away on its own if it does not see your doctor, right. So, reason of OTC medication, that is overall risk and potential abuse or dependency, okay, and availability for larger population yearly in a disease like for example, the hyperacidity and that is ulceration. The company's way of extending the life of their drugs, that is the expiry date etc., and by creating reduced strength and reduced price product. Okay. And the prescription drug cost has increased by 15% per year. So, that is another reason, right, and the other reason is financial relief because it is reducing its price, it is of lesser price. So, let us know what are the advantages of this OTC medication. One most important advantage is benefits outweigh risk, low misuse and abuse potentiality, okay, and consumers are able to take their that is medication for the relief of their pain, right, and self diagnosis they can do. And next advantage is self treatment is possible, okay. And next most important advantage is the self management, the patient can do its self management. And the another advantage of OTC medication is adequately labeled, the medication is always adequately labeled. Then next important thing is that health practitioners are not needed because there is no need to the physician for all these discussions, because here in OTC medications you can that is diagnose your disease, diagnose your discomfort and you can treat by going to the chemist or pharmacy for the medication, right. And adequately, because these medications are adequately labeled, it is also one benefit for these OTC medications, because here the pain, if it is pain, then it can be that is diagnosed by the patient itself, and as it is adequately labeled in the medication. Sometimes if you are going to take one ointment or one that is pain relief like move, or you are going to take one that is ointment for your fungal infection. It has been mentioned over the label, it will be labeled properly that these are antifungal agents, right, or these are antibiotics. So, it will be very much useful, the label will be adequately useful for the that is considering the medicine for that particular condition. And health practitioner, if as all are busy, as I told you that the persons are having lesser time for the visit to the hospital or the physician. So, it is also one advantage for OTC medication for the better that is getting better treatment. Okay. Another advantage, reduced opportunities to receive counseling about the possible lifestyle therapies, like that means reduced opportunity to receive the counseling about possible lifestyle like exercise and diet. As if I will say my point of view, exercise and diet, these two are important things. You can get rid of the uncomfortable condition or pain or any type of disorder by changing the diet or by changing the lifestyle. Poorer complications will be there, and misdiagnosis, patient won't benefit from the drug, but will be exposed to the risk. This is another disadvantage. And the more difficult to study the drugs effects. Okay. So, as I told you, different advantages are there, right, for OTC medications. So, let us know the disadvantages of OTC medications. If the patient will not visit the physician and it will take the medicine from the that is chemist or any that is pharmacy, that will reduce the opportunity to achieve proper counseling, okay, to receive proper counseling from the physician about the possible lifestyle therapy. Possible lifestyle therapy you can get idea by there is taking exercise, going for exercise or any diet change, or if you are taking you are suffering from ulceration or acidity and you are taking spicy food, you are taking alcohol, you are taking there is all these things can be counseled by the physician, and it may lead to poorer compliance, right. So, it is another disadvantage of OTC medication, and the misdiagnosis may be there due to OTC medication. It happens, sometimes it happens that the diagnosis is not proper because the patient is a layman, it may be the medico, but sometimes it happens that the diagnosis will not be proper and patient won't benefit from the drug, but will be exposed to its risk, unnecessarily it will be exposed to its risk. So, more and another disadvantage is more difficult to study the drugs effect, whether the effect is coming or not, it is also difficult. So, along with the advantages of OTC medications, there are these disadvantages. Okay. So, all these OTC medications, it is very much essential to know the what are the medications, as I told you what are the medications enlisted in OTC medications, and you can go to the chemist and you can take it, but after proper there is a diagnosis, and you can you can also advise your family members that these are the OTC medications, these you can take, but after proper diagnosis. If diagnosis is wrong, then the medication will be that is inefficient and there may be unnecessary complications. Okay. So, as I told you, in India OTC medication is much more than the prescription medications, still it is under observations. Okay. So, it is all about OTC medications. Hope you have benefited. So, stay safe and stay healthy. Thank you.